Hello, Stéphane. Thank you for joining me all the way from Luxembourg. Welcome to my podcast.
Hi, and thanks for the invitation. I'm looking forward to our discussion.
Not at all. It's my pleasure to have you. We've only ever had one long conversation before this, but we connected so deeply when we spoke, and I think we spoke for like 2 hours, didn't we?
Yeah,
About all sorts of things.
Yeah.
It was one of those lovely discussions where we really connected and we talked about so many different things because, again, as we talked more about our journeys, we realized we had more and more in common. And one of the things that we have in common is that we're both immigrants into the countries that we live and work in. And that was really interesting. And now you help people move to Luxembourg and you settle them in. So maybe that's something that you would shed some light on for us, please, how you encourage people to fit into the new environment when they move into it.
Yes, I think maybe I will tell a bit about my background. My parents have been expats, and I was born in the UK and grew up in different countries: Djibouti, Thailand, Switzerland. Then France. Did my studies in a business school in London. Ended up in the moving and relocation business. Being able to help people from different nationalities is just great. I love it. You learn a lot from them, and to be able to assist them in their journey to their new home is a great satisfaction. Yesterday, I helped a lady arriving from Turkey, which, you know, in the actual COVID situation is a bit stressful to travel and to find your new home, and you know, arriving in a new country wearing a mask is a bit strange. But when you are able to discuss with them, listen to their story, listen to their journey, they learn from us, but I learn a lot from them in terms of what they've done, what are their aspirations, why they are moving, and you have so many different reasons. You have, you know, some very personal, for some it's only job related, but you know, sometimes people move because of the political situation in their country. I mean, you told me about your parents moving out of Iran, and you still have people that do that. And I have a family who said, okay, I cannot live in a country where it's starting to be a kind of dictatorship, and we love our country, but for our children we want a better life, and they decided to you know, move to Luxembourg to have a better life for their children, which I thought was, you know, incredible, to just leave everything behind and start a new life.
You've just given me the shivers because it's so close to home, and it's very, very brave, very courageous. And that's the story of my parents. They lived a very comfortable life behind. They had very good jobs. They were very well liked in their fields of profession. They had a home that was mortgage free. And, you know, for the sake of giving my sister and I a better future, they just destroyed what they had. They burned their bridges. They immigrated with a lot of money back into the UK and set up businesses here. And it was particularly difficult for my dad because he didn't know much English, really. He had been educated in Germany and Switzerland, so he knew French and German, but very little English. But again, he felt that he wanted to take his children to an English-speaking country, and that's why he settled here. So awfully, awfully courageous. And it just kind of, you know, it just reminded me of my own story. But I guess, you know, I talk to my clients and my friends about this. The bigger the risk sometimes, the more satisfaction you have when you succeed in life, because there are so many people telling you not to do it. You know, I remember my dad still tells the stories of how many people said to him, what are you doing? You know, you're successful here. You've got it all here. What are you doing? Don't do it. And he purely did it for the sake of his kids.
Yeah.
And that's to be admired, really.
Yeah, and you have so many reasons, and I think it can relate to you know, people in their business life, where you have people that stay on the same path forever, and we discussed that. You know, you stay on the motorway and you don't take the side roads, and for many reasons. Some are, you know, you can understand them, and sometimes it's just because you don't have the opportunity or you don't make the opportunity happen. And concerning my personal life, I was scared to change, you know, when we decided to set up the company, it's just because suddenly when I lost my job, I had to do something else, and it was the right time to do it. And
Yeah.
of course, I needed to have some outside help, and you know, I discussed with a lot of people. But I think it's like when people are moving and when people are setting a new business or changing job, it's a time where you have to reflect on yourself and to get out of your comfort zone. I think now it's my, you know, new. I should write it down on my shirt. You know, get out of your comfort zone.
I know.
Because in the past I was scared of what would happen to my children. You know, I was staying in my job because I was, you know, protected in a way. I thought I was protected in a way, you know, working 14 years in the same company.
Yeah.
My kids were at university. I needed to pay my mortgage.
Yeah.
And all the right and wrong reasons
Yeah.
to stay in your job.
Yeah.
And basically, if you get out of your comfort zone and you start to do something different, of course, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be challenging, like moving to a new country, like your parents did. Uh, but in a way, you have an objective. I mean, I hear a lot of people saying you set up an objective and then the money will come in because you are focused on what you want to do. You are focused on your customers. You are focused on a better life for your children. And you'll make sure that, you know, you have everything to reach that aim.
I think, you know, you've just said it. It's whatever you put your mind to. And I think that is a lesson that the more positive outcomes we set our mind to, the more we can achieve them. So it's almost like having that outcome and there's no turning around. And it may not be a straight road. It's always a zigzaggy route. You always have to deviate a little bit. It's never you'll never get to destination how you thought you would. You have to be flexible, but that's one of the things, isn't it, about the journey that the immigrants go on. That's I think the successful ones are the ones that integrate into society. So, you know, you talked last time about how you kind of not only help your clients move to Luxembourg, but you also take them through a bit of an introduction of this is the culture in Luxembourg. This is what people say, do, act like, you know. So it's important for people to understand the culture that they move into so that they can integrate,
Yeah, I think it's
because there
very
are
important.
cultural differences that will kind of, you know, give us those barriers. So it's really important to be educated and how, you know, be told how we can come together rather than stay apart and not integrate and then kind of create the division that we sometimes see in society.
Yes, I think it's really maybe a big problem in different countries. In a lot of countries, is that you know, we are talking about cluster with the coronavirus, and I think that sometimes in some countries and so in some societies, we are creating clusters of immigrants, which means that as they are not able to integrate, they stick together,
Yep.
maybe staying in their own culture,
Yep.
which is fine. You need to keep your roots, but
Yep.
you need to integrate in your new country. And the only way to integrate in a new country is to get out of your cluster and go and meet, you know, other people. And it's what I'm telling to my customer when they arrive. Luxembourg is a very international country with 170 more nationalities. And you are able to meet new people, you are able to integrate, and the country is working on integrating people. So it's the thing is that people are not waiting for you; they have their own life. So
Of course.
when people, and it's like, again, I'm linking that to being an entrepreneur. You know, customers are not waiting for you. If you don't go out and try to get new customers. If you are an expat and you don't you know, go to events, you don't register to a business club, or if you are from the UK, if you don't register to the business chamber, then you won't meet people. You will stay alone. You stay by yourself, and you say that the country is not nice. You always blame the others, and for your business is the same. If you don't go to try to go to find a customer and you don't get business, you say, oh well, they are crap. They are not open-minded. My business is great. Why don't they buy it? My product, sorry. And I think it's really a state of mind, and I try to tell all those people that arrive in a new country, be open-minded. Things are different, even if it's a very multicultural country. You need to adapt. You need to understand. You need to listen. You don't change who you are, but learn from the others. You can always learn from different cultures, and I think that's great.
And it's about sharing stories. I'm all about storytelling. It's about sharing your journey, and people find it inspiring, especially if you've come from a different country. If you're speaking to a local, they always find it quite inspiring to listen to your stories. And then that's how you find sameness in people rather than differences. And then we're all different. We're all unique in our own special ways. But then if we find enough sameness in each other, similarities in each other, then we can connect on those and learn from the differences also. So it's about having that open mindset, I guess, whether we are the hosts to the people who are coming in, or whether we're the visitors. I think integration is key to a successful, thriving community.
Just talking about our business is what I like with the relocation is we make sure that the first impression of the country for the newcomers is just a fantastic experience. And it's the first feeling you have of a country when we help them, and it's why we want them to have a great experience with us, because if we are able to find a school for their children, if we are able to find the proper accommodation where they will feel at home right away, if we help them through the administration when they arrive, all this will make the experience much easier, and they will enjoy the journey of their new life, instead of being scared about what's happening and not understanding the language and so on. And I think it's important to support each other when you arrive in your country. And I've, even if you are not supported by your company with a relocation package, but reach out to the community that is already in Luxembourg. You have nowadays with internet, with Facebook, you have so many pages where you have expat pages where you can just ask questions, and you are able to meet people when you arrive. And but you need really
to be proactive. Absolutely. You need to be proactive in seeking help. And something that you said earlier, much earlier in the conversation, I loved, is when you're trying to set up business and it's very new to you, you just go to your people who have done it before. You choose to work with people who are of your mindset. You choose to associate with people who know how to, because then you learn from them, and then you know that you're on the correct path. Thank you so much. It's been so great talking to you. So we wanted to just talk about integration and the importance of it, but I loved how you related that into the entrepreneurial journey as well, because you're right, they're one and the same. When we're talking about integration, they're one and the same. So thank you for drawing that parallel. It was most useful. Thank you for coming, and I hope you have a fabulous day where you are.
Thanks a lot for inviting me.
Not at all. We'll catch up soon.
Thanks.
Take care.